frozen. We're here. It's a shit show like usual. So because this is not what I planned, and I was busy over here not paying attention. Hi. All right, there we go. Now we're back. We're here. This is the Friday. It's the first Friday. It is Full Throttle Freedom Friday, as a matter of fact. It is the first episode of what I anticipate to be a long run of podcasts. And we have a guest tonight, as you already kind of saw, because if you're not on the YouTube channel watching this, it's going to be a mystery. But we done flubbed it up already. So shit show as usual. And without further ado, I will bring in our guest, Iron Hooligan. To many of you, he is probably unknown because he's not been much on YouTube, if at all on YouTube. He's from the TikTok side of what I do. So bringing him in, having a little bit of fun. He's always motivational, always kind of got his head in the clouds. He's caffeinated, well caffeinated most of the time. And here to have some fucking fun with us, talk some bullshit, and we'll see what kind of fucking mess we can get into. So without further ado, hey man, give yourself a little introduction. I know I kind of did already, but
what is up, guys? I'm like you said, I come from the TikTok side of social media. Looking to cross over to the VO YouTubes. And as you said, I am very happy. Got my Red Bull. In fact,
echo.
So, a little introduction about myself. I guess let's just start from the year I was born. So 94, born in Ohio, the armpit of the United States, and was born and raised there. Left when I was about 21 to 23. Moved down to Savannah, Georgia for about 4 years, and moved back to West Virginia, which is where I'm at now, and living life the best I can, doing hooligan stuff and trying to spread a little bit of positivity and motivation along the way, which I know is an oxymoron. You do hooligan stuff, it's looked down upon. But
there's an old saying. Hopefully the audio is better. I apologize if there was an echo. I did some setting stuff. It was probably on my end. I don't think Hooligan's got his YouTube open with the volume up. I don't hear it personally coming off of his side. So
no, I don't have mine up.
I'm hoping that's coming through a little bit better now, a little less echo. Y'all can tell me if it is echoey or not. But hey, that's what we do here. We do shit show. Like I said, I told him earlier, I'm like, hey, don't worry about your quality. They're used to garbage. That's what I do here. So Bryce says it's great now. Well, that's great too. So real quick, I do run down in the chat. Dr. Catmilk is here. I know earlier in the week, because I posted a couple days ahead of time, that some people were like, I'm first. Whatever. Hey, congratulations for being first on a Wednesday at like 1:00. You're the shit, Mike E, aka Crazy Eyes. And then of course, somebody coming in saying 3 days. What the fuck is this shit? Well, it's what I do, guys. You know that. When I have a guest, I actually get excited about it. I schedule it out, and then I try to give links and this and that. Which is what I'm going to try to get back to doing. DJ Play Nice says audio is 5 out of 5. Fucking fantastic.
I love
All right.
it.
So I'm in the chat too. Obviously, Hooligan's in the chat. Bri the Biker jumping in saying, what is up? If you're not familiar with Bri the Biker, Iron Hooligan, he is one of the YouTubers on here who does the bike stuff too. You're going to want to get to know him. He's a good fucking dude. And it's very interesting. So there's been a very little crossover between social media platforms, between TikTok and YouTube and Instagram and such like that. Everybody kind of does their own thing. Everybody has their own audience, and that's great. But as with every platform has its issues. Every platform has its problems. Bryce says, I am too kind. I am not too kind. I'm being honest. But the reality is everybody kind of does their own thing. Nobody crosses over for some reason. What we've noticed here from people who are on TikTok specifically, obviously the app itself has become kind of a abyss of unknowing what's going to happen next, especially for biker communities, biker people. There's a lot of other people that are on there that can get away with just about anything. If I had a roast beef sandwich that I was willing to throw on camera, I'm pretty sure I'd have about 6 million followers, and I'd never have to worry about a ban a day in my life. But unfortunately, I don't. And yes, Mikey, pineapple plays both ways. That's such a metaphor for so many other things, but that's part of the reason that we killed the pineapple. The pineapple is dead, but that's okay. For you, Crazy Eyes, I will still sit here and stroke my white cock on camera for you. It's a lot bigger in real life.
Man. That's great. I don't even have anything like that. Like
you gotta have something to pet.
I don't have anything to pet, unfortunately.
That's all right. At least you got a beard.
Oh wait, hold on.
Oh, there you're gonna go with the flannel.
I'll stroke my
he's
Dixon.
stroking his dicky. There it is.
I'll stroke my Dixon.
Oh, his Dixon. Oh, that's even worse. It should have been a Dickies.
Well, so the old lady bought me that for good old Christmas. I got it early, so I love it. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, it's all right. Gotta ensure that penetration. Yeah. That's another thing Iron Hooligan will learn about here shortly. I'm pretty sure. We have things that we do on this stream sometimes that are interesting. Some of them involve penetration multiple times.
Okay.
And usually it comes after talking about some brand awareness or something like that. But to kick it off, I'll let you know this is exactly what we do. It is called penetration, and this penetration goes out to all y'all in the chat that have been waiting for it.
Penetration! You didn't like that? Oh, what about this? Penetration!
Oh yeah, penetration. If you know the clip, you know the clip. If you don't, it's fucking good stuff. We can always try WD-40. He says, "Get slippy, make flippy." Perfect.
I'm a PB Blaster guy myself.
What was that?
I prefer PB Blaster.
PB Blaster is the way to go. Oranges.
I don't care about the other as long as the job gets done.
All right. So, we do have something that we haven't had here in a long time. You entered right as the seat bowl did. Yeah, that's great. It's a great time to enter. At least you didn't get entered as the seat bowl did. So, unlike many times in our streams, we don't have a lot of things going on. Tonight we have a guest. So we have things going on. And as I said, this is the first episode that will be going up of the full Throttle Freedom podcast, which is going to be kind of a crossover amalgamation of everything we've done. I've got guests that you've seen before on this channel lined up. I've got guests that you've never seen before on this channel lined up. I even went as far as, hey, you know what? I've got sponsors for this podcast. So without further ado, the next little bit of this video is actually going to be brought to you by a sponsor. It's almost like we're famous at this point, but we're really fucking not. So this portion of the Full Throttle Freedom podcast is being brought to you by Twisted Grip. For all your kinky paracord wants and needs, be sure to head on over to www.twistedgrip00.com. Whether you want whips, keychains, floggers, or even titty tassels, Dustin over at Twisted Grip is your fucking guy. He will get you taken care of. Make sure you tell him that Jim O'Ryan and the Full Throttle Freedom podcast sent you. He's probably going to make you pay more for that, but at least he'll know who sent your crazy ass his way. So, again, remember, twistedgrip00.com. It is down below for all your kinky paracord purposes, you sick, twisted bastards. You know you fucking want to.
I know what I'm getting her for Christmas.
Yeah, he's got you, man. He's got you covered. Whips, floggers, chains, whatever you want. Keychains. He doesn't actually do chains, but he does keychains. So there is that. Yeah, it's definitely different here having sponsors. We don't have to bite our tongue at all because there are people who know the type of person I am. I was able to write the ad spot. I even sent it to him as an approval, and he laughed his ass off, said, "That's fucking great. Go for it." So I'm going to love it. Tactical Pineapple will never die. Tactical Pineapple's dead. So if you don't know, the Tactical Pineapple is something that existed here on this channel for a long time. It's back. Oh, it's not even in camera, guys. Now I feel bad. I'm gonna have to readjust. So the studio has been readjusted. Things have been moved around. I've got lighting in front of me so I can kind of keep it dark but be illuminated and looking all halfway not so horrible. And you
You look like a
we're just
Greek
doing-
god.
yes, exactly. If he found his way into the fucking ho-ho stash.
Hey, this $20 is $20. Okay.
Well, I said the ho-ho stash, not the ho stash. Gee.
It's one and the same where I'm from.
Yeah, fair enough. It all comes with a black outside, white inside, creamy middle, all that good stuff.
Exactly.
He fucked up our daughter with the damn pineapple. Yes, I did. One bad mama in the chat is the wife. She's upstairs taking care of Christmas stuff because we got family coming over tomorrow, which is always fun, fantastical, and means I need to make a run to the liquor store before 9:00 in the fucking morning. But hey, no, I did. It's my fault, BV Luminous. I did. It is 100% my fault. My daughter has pineapple dresses. She calls herself the Princess Pineapple. And she has actually told her teachers at her school such. So I look like Bacchus, godly wine and god of wine and mirth. Yeah, that pineapple was created scary AF. Yeah, it was. It's okay. We're good though. We're moving on from the pineapple because the pineapple is always and will always be part of our history. But as I killed it for many reasons. We've discussed that already. Iron Hooligan though is created because of what? What was your main driving force that got you to go, you know what? I'm gonna embody in myself the whole synonym or the mantra of bad people doing good things.
So how it originally got started so I know girls bike. Oh my god, fuck, it's a Sportster. But so it originally started. I had an Iron 883. And it was one of those things of, okay, I'm trying to figure out a name for my bike, right? And sat down, started thinking about it, like literally thinking about it. And so basically with the modifications that I did, I went with I literally went with the hooligan kit. So I did the simple redneck thing, took one name, added it to the other. So we got the Iron 883 and the SNS hooligan kit. Boom, Iron Hooligan was born.
So basically what you're saying is that you bought a Sportster.
Yeah.
And then you decided to give yourself a stripper name.
Yes, exactly.
It totally makes sense. I get it. I understand. It's basically the same thing Victory owners do, except they start with the stripper name.
Yes. I'm pretty sure I know someone named like Cinnamon something, like Victory Cinnamon or some, I don't know, something like that. But
I thought you were gonna go. I thought you were talking about Bobby Cinnamon.
Bobby Cinnamon, yes, there's Bobby Cinnamon. Who else? There's Logan Cinnamon.
Oh yeah.
Because he's a bagger bro.
I think anytime you see something that rides, it's automatically Cinnamon. Yeah.
You'll have the occasional like sport bike rider, and they're more like a glitter type name.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like Super Glitter Puss or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
We joke. I don't care if you ride whatever you ride, two wheels. I don't care if it's a fucking scooter. Just get out and fucking ride.
Yeah, as long as you're on twos and it's not a moped, I don't give a shit.
If you drive a slingshot, please find the nearest pole and see if you can't find a way to figure something out with that.
Yeah.
Remove a wheel.
There's a song out there, and it says something about wrapping a car around a pole. I think that's pretty appropriate. Um, but no. So that's how the name came about. And then I really started sitting down and thinking, like, kind of looking back, I guess. And this is, I guess, on a deeper note. But like, I started looking back at what my life was and what my life is. And me and me and the boys are always doing something along hooligan lines, breaking the law somehow on two wheels, popping wheelies, whatever it is, doing burnouts at stoplights, going over a certain double digit number, sometimes triple, and just doing stuff that we shouldn't be doing. But then there was this other side of my life where I was like, okay, I need to start doing something for other people, so that way my peace and my soul are happy. Because it got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm not happy with what I'm doing. I'm having fun with the boys and all that, but I'm not good within myself. And I started looking inward. And that's when everything started changing for me. And so I've said it before. I've said it on TikTok before. But basically, the videos I post on TikTok are what I literally tell myself every morning. They are my daily affirmations. And so this is just the start. Is me doing a 3-minute video of talking about, like, today, being disciplined versus undisciplined. Don't trade your today for tomorrow. Don't buy into the instant gratification. Do your work, bust your ass, and enjoy the process in which you are in right now. And so, literally, I don't even say the stuff that I say on TikTok to myself until I am in front of that camera, because I want it all to be raw. I want it all to be real, and I want it to be relatable. And however that comes out, yes, I stutter. I don't care. I don't edit my shit. I stumble over words. I take long pauses. Like, I just don't care. As long as the point gets across and it can help one person, I don't care if 2 people view my video and that's all that video has. If those 2 people got help that day and it allowed them to push themselves a little bit harder that day, that's all I care about. So yeah, we do bad things on motorcycles, but we have to keep ourselves in check and do things for other people as well. Which is kind of like the bad people doing good things or good people doing bad things, however you want to look at it. That's kind of how it came along.
Yeah, the thing about that whole, and I hate the saying because it implies that people on motorcycles are bad, but like,
Right.
there's just this general like consensus among people who aren't a part of the community that automatically, like, your hat's flipped up, you're a bad person, you're in a gang, oh my god, like, you're
You
doing
have gauges, like, you're
yeah,
a
yeah.
piece of
Hey,
trash.
I can't even knock it. I literally used to have like 1/2-inch plugs in my ears,
Yeah.
and I don't anymore. But it takes a 2-carat black diamond to cover the hole up.
right.
So,
Um,
no flexing. Their black diamonds are cheap. They're just fucking unturned charcoal, basically polished up.
right.
But no, it's a legit thing. Like, I hate to say, yeah, bad people doing good things, but a lot of people outside of the biker community don't see or understand that so many of the bikers in the community that people consider dirty, nasty, ugly, mean,
Yeah.
this, that, they are some of the most kind-hearted, giving, generous individuals you are ever going to meet. Um, yeah, I
Right.
know. And that was just, my wife even in the chat, she goes, "What do you think those people thought when you walked up to the door this morning?" I didn't wear my hat up to this house because I'm like, if I wear my hat, it's an instant, like, it's gonna shut down whatever, Like, I'm there
Yeah.
to just pick up a dining room table. Like, I'm paying you $600 cash for a dining room table and all this stuff because it's like it's cheaper than if I go buy it someplace else. Well, what are you gonna think? I'm like, part of me wanted to roll up there with my hat rolled up, take that fucking money, just roll it up into a big wad, wrap a couple rubber bands around it, and like toss it to them, be like,
Right.
there you go. Just let them fucking sit on it and try to think how this money was earned. It's like,
Right.
dude, I'm a fucking engineer. I bust my ass for my fucking money. And what
Right.
money I do have, most of it goes into my kids' accounts when I'm not trying to fucking pay the bills off that I'm racking up while trying to change and better our life. Like,
Right.
it's crazy.
And and I've used this analogy before, but and I'm not talking on any certain affiliation when I say this. I'm just gonna put it out there now. But some of the best that I know are in motorcycle clubs. Some of the best dudes that I know have the biggest hearts, and they're a part of some pretty big clubs. And like I heard this, and whether or not it's true or not, I don't know, but I fully believe it to this day. People on motorcycles and motorcyclists, they are the most charitable people that you will ever meet. All the runs that we go on, the poker runs for females of domestic violence, or a foster care run, or hey, we need to sponsor this kid for Christmas. Okay, cool, let's do it. Toys for Tots runs, or like, and we've all seen them, the 20, 30, 40 bikers taking a kid to school after being bullied the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Or, hey, my kid wants to go ride a motorcycle on his birthday to school. Okay, well, let's load up some like 15, 20 people and let's just ride them to school. Let's just get the kid to school safely and all that. It's one of the best communities that I am a part of. And I wouldn't change it for the world. And so when I started first getting into this stuff, they accepted me with open arms, and I refuse to let that die. And so I guess you could say, in a way, people in motorcycle clubs inspired this a little bit. But it's also a whole lot more than just being bad people doing good things or good people doing bad things. It's and I mean, I don't know if you can see it because my bill, but I mean, it literally says "Live Wild," and that's kind of like our thing, right? Like that's Iron Hooligans thing. And whoever wears the merch, whoever does whatever, lives life on our own terms. We do what we want. We live that outlaw lifestyle of doing what we want, when we want, and how we want to do it. But there's this pullback of within reason.
Right.
You have to do that within a certain reason, and where your limits lie with that depends on the person.
Right.
And so, and I've been asked this too. So why didn't you go plural with hooligan? Why isn't it Iron Hooligans? Because it is yes, me as a person is just a one person thing. But yes, at the same time, there's going to be multiple people repping shirts, hats, whatever. But I want that shirt or that hat or that patch or that sticker to represent that person as an individual that's a part of something bigger than themselves.
Right. Yeah, you don't want it to be the other thing. You don't want it to become a collective type thing. You don't want it to be, oh, they're a gang. Look at all 9 of them are wearing a shirt and walking down the sidewalk at the same time. Like it's such a like we shouldn't have to think that way, but as people in a community that's always kind of, looked at differently, we always end up kind of thinking that same way. Like we don't want to be a gang, so we're not going to make it this and we're not going to do that. And it's just, we're repping the merch, we're repping the guy.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we're all just trying to get to the same spot, and how we
Right.
get there is kind of, our own journey, and that's what makes it the individual portion of it. So, yeah, we've been going for a little bit here, talking a little bit about some of that stuff. Guy's got the Liquid Death in front of it and everything. Pretty soon he's going to be coming over with some, some ad for that. Perfect, man. Liquid Death, water for people who like to drink out of cans.
Exactly. The Live, I highly suggest.
Yeah. So you said you live in what state?
I live in West Virginia. About
it's better than Ohio. That's all.
About 30 minutes away from the state line of Ohio, and another 30 minutes from Kentucky.
Perfect.
Kind of like that tri-state area.
You're in that spot.
Yeah, I'm in so I live in Huntington.
You don't have to tell people where you live. You don't have to dox yourself. I'm just trying to figure out where you're from. Like, you're drinking water from a can, so either the water isn't good or you just like to pay money for water.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be real honest with you. So I kind of became addicted to Liquid Death when I was living down in Georgia, because I used to do a lot of like field blue collar work. I still do. I mean, I'm a pipe welder, so and yeah, I already know the comments are going to blow up with that.
Oh no, you lay pipe. It's we've got in my Discord, which if you're not already a member, link is in the link tree in the bio, the description down below. We have a legitimately he's our official welder in our Discord. So pipe fitter, pipe welder. He's up in the great northeast area though. Or northwest, west. Yeah.
But
yeah, he's in the state that shall not be named. Yeah, it might be in that area.
Yeah, we ain't gonna say that around here. But no, and honestly, like, bro, if they want to know where I live at, like, I got beer in the fridge. Come on, I'll hand you a beer before I put anything else in your face. I promise.
Yeah.
But what beer is $20.
Just know that he's very lonely and likes to cuddle, and he doesn't like being the little spoon, is what he's saying. So
yeah, like big spoon only.
yeah. Crazy Eyes says Liquid Death fucks. So does Iron Hooligan. So Andrew Schill in the house. What's up, yo?
But yeah, so I'm kind of in that tri-state area. But so kind of back to the original point. So the reason I got addicted to Liquid Death, did a lot of field work. I did some drilling for internet and phone lines. So I was out in the Savannah heat 24/7. And long story short, it was cheaper than the bottled water. And I think it was like a run-in, like at that point, it was like $1.25 or whatever it was. It wasn't like $2 or whatever, you know what I mean? And so started drinking it. And then I started putting it in the coolers, and it would stay a little bit cooler because it is aluminum. So it's not a lot cooler, but it would stay cooler a little bit longer. And ended up falling in love with it, and now that's all I drink. In fact, I drank 2 Liquid Deaths on my way home tonight, and that was just the straight water. I have this one, and then I have the regular Black Label in the fridge right now. So I am a big fan of Liquid Death. I mean,
so do you get it delivered to your door?
Actually, yes. If I am being completely honest, and then if I run out before that, luckily the local grocery store, Kroger, they have it. In 12 packs. And so I've actually kind of done this too. So the Liquid Death 12s, they have like art on the bottom of them from different artists.
Mm-hmm.
So I've actually gotten in the habit of cutting the bottom of the box out once I'm done with it and like framing it almost, and then using it as like posters and wall art and stuff like that. So
there's worse things to do. Country Sportster's in the house saying, hey yo.
What's up, bro?
So so he says sorry he's late. He had to work. He's from Ohio though, so
Yeah, he's up by that state up north that we don't talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, I got your history, your backstory, what you're doing. One thing that I wanted to kind of discuss was kind of your position and your thoughts about the way apps are looked at, viewed by other individuals and such, and kind of the reason behind it is we've had individuals who are kind of coming and saying, hey, I love your content, or I support you, even specifically in my Discord, like, but I'm not going to go to that app because of things. And I'm like, what things? And it's like, well, I'm not interested in other people, or other countries knowing what I do, as opposed to your own country, right? I mean, I personally think other things, but before we get into that, it is time for our second sponsor spot. Sponsor pod. Would be great if I had some pot, but it's not legal here, so I can't do that.
As long as you have your card, it's here.
There's no cards in my state. I live in the state of Wisconsin. It's been promised for a long time, but not quite yet. But at least Illinois is right down the road, so there's that. But anyways, this upcoming portion of the show, honestly, brought to you by the second sponsor. You know him. I've talked about them before. DachaLeather.com is where you can go to get all your fine leather shit that fucks. There's plenty of people out there that are currently, making leather products, doing cool things with leather that are, they're definitely cool. They look badass. It's something you could actually get into and have fun with. But honestly, I've bought some of the stuff. It's 6 months down the road, you're replacing it because it's wearing out, it's breaking through, it's this and that. I have not been able to break in the stuff I've gotten from Dacha yet, much less actually break it at all. So I know it's early, but my personal opinion is I've seen excellent stuff, and I've got nothing bad to say about them. So be sure to check out DachaLeather.com and tell Odie that I sent you. Again, he might charge you more, but what's up, Willie?
Highly suggest, if you carry bandanas around every day, as I do, get the bandana holder. It is worth it. I'm telling you. I'm literally about to go order one as soon as the podcast is done.
Yeah, so he's got plenty of things over on the website, DachaLeather.com. He's got bandana holders that are literally their skulls. So two reasons they're great. Number one, it's something that actually has some weight that goes into your pocket. You can hold on to that bandana all day long in your back pocket. It ain't going fucking nowhere. It also doubles as a sap, which I don't need because I've got the Stingray casket, which is fantastic. Love it. Unfortunately, it sounds like he's probably not going to be doing much Stingray anymore. So if he does have Stingray on the site and you like it, you're going to want to get it before he doesn't do it anymore, because he's learned some lessons about how to stitch Stingray and it doesn't treat his machine well. So, like I said, DachaLeather.com. Check out his stuff. I'm wearing the hat right now. The elephant leather is fucking phenomenal. I don't know if you guys can. There you go. I'll get it over here in the camera. You can see it. That black on red. Got the grommet. I got the little chain that goes to the belt loop too. That elephant leather is fucking awesome. Badass. I can't fucking talk it up too much because it sounds like I'm really trying to show for the guy, but he is good at what he does. The stuff he does will outlast the majority of the people who are going to use it, and he's said it himself. He creates products that will outlast his customers, so he hopes he creates it good enough that it creates collectors, because he isn't getting return customers on wallets. So yeah, that is our second sponsor for the evening, and I hope you guys appreciate the work that they do. If you're into any of that stuff, I don't have any codes to get any money off because I'm not really shilling for them. I'm letting their work speak for themselves. These are people that I like. These are people that I get along with. These are people that I want to help promote. And as such, I'm sending them the way. This is not monetization of the podcast. This is just me talking to them, doing ad spots for them. So that I hope you guys, if you're looking for something, that's something that you're going to go check out. So without further ado, let's get back into it. Right before we went into the little break there, we were talking about different apps and people's perceptions of it and wanting to cross over. So, interestingly enough, I've looked at some statistics. So from TikTok to other applications, yes, I said applications, there's a lot greater crossover going from TikTok to another than the opposite way around. So, it's definitely interesting to see that there's just that much higher of a click through rate. But going the opposite way, it's very different. It's not necessarily that same. You're not going to get the same, response from people crossing over. And it kind of goes back to that commentary of, well, TikTok's a Chinese app. It's run by the Chicoms and blah, 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 and this and that. And I know I got to watch what I say on YouTube because I've already got 2 strikes. I think one might have actually dropped off, so we might be rolling into this live with just 1 strike tonight, which is great because I'm a little bit safer than I was yesterday, basically, by doing that. Hey, Rowdy Rides is in the chat. Awesome. What's up, bud? Yeah, so it gives me a little bit more leeway here, and it's really crazy because 6 months to a year ago, I thought the censorship over here was absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm.
But going to TikTok, man, it's a completely different animal, and some of their shit doesn't make any fucking sense
At all.
It's literally I got I got banned from going live as a guest on TikTok the other night while I was eating dinner with Kink. Like
Yep.
Kink, I think it was Kink and Loki, and then I was in there just hanging out talking, and I was eating dinner, not even saying nothing. All of a sudden, it's like you were banned for hateful speech, and like, oh
Right.
come on, I'm gonna appeal
Right.
this, and it's gonna go away, right?
Well, that's
2 days
like,
later, I get it back. No, we assure you, what you were doing was hateful, and I'm like, what the? Are you
right.
serious?
Like, so like it's funny because you actually told me about this after it happened. I said the infamous G word during a giveaway, and that's exactly what it was. It was a giveaway. I wasn't lying to people about it. I had a bunch of people in the box. We were having a good time, and not 30 seconds later, done, banned for 2
I
weeks.
literally I said, don't say it in there. Don't say it in there. And you said it one time, and it's like gone.
Done. 2 week ban at that point. And that was, I believe that was also for hateful behavior.
Yeah.
And I mean, I probably said some other jokes in there that I probably shouldn't have, but I would have been more impressed with TikTok if they would have banned me for the jokes instead of the word.
Right. No, I literally get it's ridiculous. You can say some of the craziest shit on that app.
Yeah.
You can do some of the craziest shit. Like I said, if you got fucking roast beef sandwich you want to throw on camera that just happens to fall between your legs, you can be fucking huge, have fucking sponsorships, making billions of fucking dollars on fucking social media, selling your fucking bath water and fucking jarred farts or whatever.
Right. Well, and like that's the thing. Like as long as you have melons and a taco, you're pretty much good.
Oh, it's the taco. I got the melons.
So
I knew I was missing something.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of go hand in hand.
They should go hand in hand.
I would say yeah.
Hey, real quick, we got an old school boy in chat, Mario Mechanic Molina. Hey, you're here. You're here for it. Not here for it like Crazy Eyes, because apparently he's here for farts and jars. You wanted me to sell you a fart in a jar. I'll sell you a fart in a fucking jar. But I do got to do one thing before he leaves because he says he's here for just a little bitty bit.
Penetration! You didn't like that? Oh, what about this? Penetration!
Our resident Hispanic Mario cannot leave the chat without getting penetrated. It just wouldn't be right. So,
welcome to the Pink Club.
Oh yeah, penetration. So that's perfect. He says, "LOL, yes, penetration." So I always feel like Beavis, penetration, penetration. It's all right.
But yeah, yeah, crazy. It's TikTok is a crazy app to navigate. I try to stay away from giving too much shit. I'll be in the comments giving more shit than I will in a video.
Well, actually, I've got my first 3 bans. I got my first 3 bans on TikTok in the chat
Yeah.
section, in the
Right.
comment section.
That's wild. See,
And it's
so
literally something stupid. Like I come into a fucking like a live stream with Kink, and I'm like, "What's up, ugly?" And it's like, ban. Really?
gone. Yeah. Well, and that's like, um, ride your ride. Guy with long hair.
Yep.
All that. I commented on one of his videos tonight. He was going to a Christmas party or whatever. I'm like, hey, yo, take it easy there, you hippie Christian Grey. Like, chill the fuck out. And so I'll give people shit like that in the comments, but like you'll rarely see me making. I think there may be like 3 videos of me talking shit, and that's where it's like I posted one video. It was like this dude's dog was like licking him in the mouth. And I'm like, and I got real close to the camera, and I'm like, when a sport bike rider says he got some last night, and I just fucking leave. Nothing happened. Nothing. But then I see like videos like yours, like if you're giving people shit or like or anybody, and then they're just falling off like flies. And I'm like,
Right.
okay, he didn't say anything about literally fucking a dog. So like, what's the hold up here? Like
And the thing is it's like
that
you
was
can't even
soft.
give anybody, shit like at all. Just like at, that app does not understand how people who like literally live in this world where we just give everybody shit,
Right.
how we react, like how we act. And it's like it's kind of funny because there's like the world is so fucking sensitive.
It is.
But for the most part, the biker community has been kind of segregated from that. Like, not a lot of them have gotten sensitive. And I say not a lot of them because I've learned there are some of them who are pretty fucking sensitive. Like,
Victory riders are the worst. I'm telling you.
you know, I mean, we all give them shit, but it's all fun and games, right? And
Right.
I always felt it was funny, and it was always kind of like, we're just giving some raz and some shots to the ribs. I'm just joking around, having some fun.
Right.
And it's one thing to have the app like censor your stuff, but it's another thing to literally have certain individuals who are like, no,
Like,
I don't like it. I'm gonna report it because I don't like it, and I'm gonna ban you because you hurt my pee feelings. Like
right.
my
Well,
pee feels smaller now because you took my magnifying glass away.
right. And so, and like that's the thing, right? So I blocked a certain individual on there, and it's the only person I've blocked on there. And I messaged her on Instagram, and like, she messaged me first, and she was all up in an uproar about it. It's probably if you're on TikTok, it's probably not who you think, but basically, I told her I was like, listen, I don't like the content you're making. It's negative. It doesn't. I'm not going to sit here and listen to you tell everybody how toxic you are. I absolutely refuse to be a part of that. And I blocked her because I didn't want to see it. Well, she got mad about it. She got all butthurt. All of a sudden, I was the dickhead and I was the asshole because I simply did what everybody asks everybody to do. If you don't like my shit, block me or unfollow me. Right.
Right. Well, hey, crazy eyes in the chat.
Still got mad. So it's a lose regardless of who it is.
Right. Yeah, even crazy eyes in the chat said it right. Offended? Just scroll the fuck on. It's that simple.
Exactly.
Like, nobody's forcing you to watch my shit. If I landed on your FYP, scroll on. Doesn't matter. All you have to do to not see me again is just scroll on.
Exactly.
Just keep going. If you stop to watch it, guess what? You're gonna see me more.
Right. Like you think
if you sit there and watch it like 6 times, like, you're helping me. Thank you.
That's my
So
thing.
there was a question in the chat, and it goes back to like the basis of where this channel started.
Right.
Gun guy, into guns, into shooting things, into having fun, pew pews, stuff like that.
I absolutely love pew pews. Pew pews are one of my favorite things. I carry a G19 myself.
Now I'm gonna have to unfollow you. You drive a Sportster. You have a Glock 19. Next, you're gonna tell me you actually thought about buying a Victory Vegas.
No. So yes, I am mentally ill, but I'm not that fucked up.
Perfect. Don't fill that form out properly. Then the 4473 will get you every time if you
Yeah.
bought a Victory. So
Yeah. So
crazy. I said to you, a Glock guy.
um, so the Glock thing was kind of passed down. I ain't gonna lie. My dad loves Glocks. I've shot them all my life, so that's kind of where that comes from.
So is it like the Harley thing too? Did the Harley thing get passed down?
Uh, actually, no. Not from my dad. It was more from I had more of an influence from my friends' dads. They rode Harleys. My granddad had a Kawasaki at one point. So I was surrounded by it, but I wasn't necessarily involved with it. And then once I kind of got out on my own and spread my wings, I guess you could say, I wanted a American-made bike that I would be proud to ride, regardless, and it's something I could take pride in. And so I was, don't get me wrong, a little bit of it was okay. It's a fucking Harley, you know what I mean? Like, yes, it's. I understand it's the name. It there's like the certain sound, like everybody always says, oh, it's that has that Harley sound, you know what I mean? Like the hell yeah, brother, like what the fuck, like, you know what I mean? And that was part of it. But I've also been in like so it's kind of like the cars that I'm into. I'm into American made cars as well. And
So
so
which one do you buy if you got to get a new one? I'm curious. Toyota?
like American made cars if I had to get a new one.
Yeah, if you had to get a new one, Toyota.
Um
I think Toyota's
so,
the only car company that actually makes their shit in America right now.
well, I say American made like loosely because a lot
I get it. I'm just giving you shit.
like, like let's be honest, Harleys aren't even truly made in America, right?
Yeah, no, I mean
So,
the interesting thing is that like the engines are not made in America. A lot of the
yeah,
components come from China or Japan.
right,
Uh, it literally is assembled in America. That's about
right,
it. So
right. And
the same as
so
your John Deere though, full all American company. Everything comes from China. It's
right,
comes on a boat. It comes from China,
exactly.
sits in a
So
fucking docking container down in Georgia for a couple months, picks up some
right.
spiders, heads up to Wisconsin, they assemble that shit and then send it out to you. So
So it's actually kind of funny you say Toyota because we have a Toyota like a Toyota plant like not even an hour away from where I stay. But yes, I would actually go and buy a Toyota before I would go buy a GMC, Ford, Chevy, whatever else. Stone me in the comments for it, but I'll listen. That's fine. I don't care. Um, so, and this is a big reason why, but my mom actually got into a car accident 2 years ago. She was in a 4Runner. She rolled down the hill, barrel rolled down the hill 4 times. And when they inspected the car, there was no frame damage to the car whatsoever. All the airbags deployed, and my mom came out without a scratch.
nice.
So that would be
They
the
are among the safest.
because if it can handle that on a West Virginia mountain, why wouldn't I?
Right.
But yeah, so kind of get back to the whole motorcycle thing. So yeah, I was surrounded by Indians. I was surrounded by Harleys. I was surrounded by, unfortunately, Victories. Um, but uh, but yeah, so it was really just the outside influence of what I was surrounded by and the environment that I grew up in. Um, one of my best friends, his dad, he had a Harley. Another one of my best friend's dads, he had an Indian Springfield. So I mean, I was surrounded by it, and like it was one of those things. Like I always knew I wanted to own a Harley, so why not have that be my first bike?
Right.
Um, plus, I'm kind of a gearhead myself, so The aftermarket for Harleys are kind of it is literally insane. You could draw something up, and I can almost guarantee you that there's something out there for it, whether it's custom or not.
Yeah, you can pretty much do anything with the Harley.
Exactly, and
It's the Glock of the motorcycle world, and I hate myself for saying that right now.
I appreciate you.
It really is, but it's an interesting thing. So that brings up another topic I kind of wanted to talk about, and it's really kind of goes to the whole brand loyalty, right? So it happens on both sides, and that's another amalgamation or a thing that I've really found in common between the gun people I know and the motorcycle people I know. It's the same with cars for a lot of it too. I mean, we have this like way of doing things in this country specifically where it's like very much brand loyal. You can go into into European countries and they just don't have it, right? You've got families that are, they don't care. It's whatever they got cheapest that time at this point, and that's why they've got like 7,200 automobile manufacturers over there because nobody gives a shit. It's like, oh look, this guy's selling a car on the corner. Does it run? Yeah. Will it get me from point A to point B 3 fucking times? Probably.
Right.
Yeah, I'll buy it.
Right. Exactly.
Here we're just like horrible. It really is. It's SIG. It's Glock, Smith and Wesson, Taurus. There's people out there that are on the Taurus thing.
There's people I know, and for some ungodly reason, I have no idea why. I kind of want to throw them into a river, but they are loyal to High Point for some reason. Whatever that reason, very could well be just like you said. It's the cheapest thing that they got. Oh, this will get me through. What's then I'm good.
Yeah, it'll get you through at least to your funeral. I mean,
right.
It gets you there quick at least. So
I mean, it'll get you to your funeral, and I mean, you're almost guaranteed to jam it up. So
I mean, it's like a 1911 for people with no money. So I'm sure there's gonna be some butthurt comments in this video, and I'm okay with that because I don't fucking care. The reality is brand loyalty is kind of one of those weird things, but it's the same thing. We razz each other about it. We don't whatever, it comes down to the same thing. Gun guy, bike, you ride a bike, you ride a motorcycle, cool. Yeah, he's into it because if it's stolen, you're only down $80. You also have to report it stolen because you registered a High Point into your name, and now you guaranteed a stolen High Point is going to end up the subject of an investigation at some point. So, I mean, like you could probably like if somebody stole like a freaking $1,400 race gun, there's a pretty good chance it's not going to end up at the bottom of a fucking lake or in a gutter waiting for the police to fucking find it and see it as a part of the investigation. A High Point that got stolen, that shit is fucking gone. I mean, it's literally like, hey, you're into fucking sketchy shit. Here's this. Have a file. Have some fun.
Right, exactly. Right. Well, and so like it's kind of funny that you say the whole thing about brand loyalty, because I don't really look at myself as brand loyal. I ride Harleys, yes. But I have actually more interest in other brands than I do Harley itself. And that could be the great downfall of this monster in the motorcycle community that we call Harley. It's not that they don't make great stuff. I love their bikes, don't get me wrong. But in this day and age, and for somebody like me who's 28 and he makes decent money for himself, but he also wants to be financially responsible, you have Harley over here who's selling a bike at $50,000, right? Then you can get almost the same exact bike plus some extras over here with Indian and the Challenger, right? That bike is out the door with everything that you want on it, ordered from the factory. You're looking $32,000,
right?
Roughly.
Yeah, no, I mean, and they're not bad looking. They're not bad looking bikes,
right? And so it's one of those things. It's just like, what is so for me personally? I'm gonna be real honest. If Yamaha all of a sudden comes out with the next best cruiser, right, and they're selling that thing for 18 grand, that price point is gonna pique my interest real
Right.
quick.
What is it? What is it called? It's the updated Virago now. They have it.
Yeah.
What's honestly, I'm going to say something that absolutely is. I hate myself for saying this. I like the fairing on that bike. I don't know
I'll
why.
look
I hate.
off of it afterwards.
It's a Batwing fairing, but it's got the running lights off to the
Mhm.
side, and they're actually molded in. So you've got literally three moldings for the lights. I
That's
don't know
awesome.
why. It's gross. It's like I hate myself for liking it, but at the same
Right.
time, it's like it's way better than a fucking shark nose fairing to me. Like
Right.
I
Oh yeah.
can't. I still stand by. I cannot stand the Road Glide. I don't like the Road Glide fairing. I just
No,
it's ugly to me. I'm like,
I'm right there with you.
there's
I will
some people who love it, but
right. I
not it.
will, and this might be my third strike, and that's okay. Do what you got to do after this. But I am a real, true Dynabro at heart.
All right, that's been great. He's been the guest of the show.
So yeah, I am a true Dynabro at heart. I love like the first gen lowrider S's. I love the lowriders, the fat boys. Go ahead and mute me again because I know it's going to happen. Like, even to a certain extent, I like the super glides and wide glides.
Yeah.
To each their own, but I've always been a Dyna fan. I'm a fan of the club style, and I know this is such a cliche thing to say because every Dyna bro says it, but it's the functionality.
You put
Func-
mid controls. You put mid controls on a fucking Dyna and get in the twisties and tell me you can't have fucking fun.
exactly,
I mean,
and that's what we're here for, right? To have
a
fun,
street glide in the twisties is great if you
right?
don't mind fucking getting off the bike at the end and going,
Right,
fuck that thing, like because you just
right,
muscling it through, and you know
right,
you see videos all the time of people like, oh, they're looking at me scraping his shit. I'm like, you know how fucking sketchy that is? Like,
right,
you scrape the bottom of the footboards at 60 miles an hour coming around a turn. It's like you're in the groove and you're just kind of riding and you don't really realize it, and all of a sudden it's like, oh shit. Like
right.
it's not a like whatever feeling. That's literally the person who's doing that, posting those videos all the fucking time, is the person who's literally ground those off to the point where like it's not a big deal anymore.
Right,
And it's literally, it's kind of like shooting a fucking 50 Smith and Wesson, a Smith and Wesson 500 offhand, right?
right.
The first couple times you do it, it's fucking gonna shake the shit out of you, and you're like, I don't
Mhm.
want to do it again. Nope, I don't want to do it again. And eventually
Right,
you get used to it and whatever, but it's still sketchy as shit. Like it's one crack away from finding yourself high siding a motorcycle over a fucking peg. Like
exactly.
I'll get in there and I'll ride with the best of them, but I'm not, once I'm scraping, it's like I advocate for ride your own ride, man. Like
Right, exactly. Yeah, I'm
stay where
right
you're
there.
comfortable. But yeah, Dyna, it sits higher. It's got that sportier frame. You put mid controls on it, so you're not right there at the floor. You're up a little bit forward
I
on it.
T-bar gang. I will admit that. I will rock T-bars any day.
Here we go again. Muted. All right, how do we do this? Yeah, there we go. All right, so since he's a T-bar guy, he's into the Sportsters, he's into the irons, he's fucking drinking energy drinks. He's gone. We're done.
Hey, it's what it is.
No, it's all good. So yeah,
Uh,
Roxy likes when I'm rough on her. I do rough her up a little bit here and there. She gets down,
right.
but Roxy fucks. But at the same time, it's not it's not good. You know. But yeah, Dynas look good, and there's certain bikes that look really good with T-bars and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna die. If you're gonna ride it club style, you're gonna go with the Dyna and get in there. There's purpose for it. Their performance. And a lot of people are like,
Yeah.
I just don't like my ape hangers do it. And I'm like, the fuck they do. Like, you go 14 inches high off the freaking, street glide and tell me that you're muscling that fucking thing around all goddamn day at the same performance level as somebody with a dyno who's just tucked in there, just yit, yit, yit. Like,
Right.
there's a reason sport bikes have T-bars. They're responsive. They don't have any give. Like,
None.
if you grab a hold, it doesn't matter if you got 2-inch thick bars, you got fucking solid freaking bar stock.
Yeah.
You get up above 12, 13, 14 inches on ape hangers, and they got some sway in the bars before you start moving. It's the same thing as the old pickup trucks where you could sit there and just like, and you're going a straight line down the road. That's what you got.
Right.
So,
and so like that's the thing is like with how me and my boys ride, like we ride like hooligans. We ride like literal jackasses. Some say we have a death wish. That's fine, but like with how we ride, it's almost the way to go. Because, like for instance, I had a buddy of mine. He's a big boy. Don't get me wrong. But I think he ended up doing like 16-inch apes, which were like 12s on me, so it looked normal on him. But he was on a bike glide, and I'm sitting there, and we're hauling ass. There was like 10 of us, and everybody had T-bars but him. Well, I was watching him in my mirror to make sure he was catching up because he was kind of new to riding, and I didn't really want him to push himself too hard and stuff like that. Well, he was keeping up pretty good, so I started to get a little less worried about him. And then I started noticing there was like a slight, like the slightest delay when he would go to like flip lanes real quick.
Yep.
And he's like, dude, how do you guys turn so fast? And I looked like one of those car salesmen in the memes, like these babies right here. And so like I had to explain literally what you just said. We build bikes to perform. We don't build bikes to just go on a 14-hour ride and just like we do.
Well, that's the thing too, is everybody's like, oh, mine's better. And it's like, dude, they all have their own purpose. Like, I would absolutely fucking really just like hate myself like if I went on anything more than 100 miles with a bike with T-bars. Not because it's not fun. I mean, you can have fun with it.
Oh yeah.
But your comfort isn't. I always feel like I'm riding on my hands with anything that's like right there. I mean, even I'll say this, stock street glide bars to me were more comfortable than, the Sportster with the T-bars.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
And I'm a huge dude to say Sportster. I rode an 883. Like first bike I had that was a Harley. Second bike I had that was a Harley. Was an 883 Sportster that was won in a raffle.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Great. Fantastic. I looked like a monkey fucking a football.
Right.
Was I riding the bicycle or was the bicycle riding me? That was kind of like,
it may have been a little bit
ask yourself the question.
Like that was when you need to add like that penetration thing.
Oh yeah, we could definitely add the penetration, because if me on a Sportster literally looked like
penetration. You didn't like that? Oh, what about this? Penetration.
I got on and it just got all up in the good bits, all up into the nasty shit,
Right.
And that was back in my dirtbag days, where young individuals didn't wear, boxers and shit. We just wore the same pair of jeans for fucking 5 or 7 days. Eventually, you just threw the jeans out and bought another pair.
Right, exactly. But yeah, so I mean, and I'm a big advocate for putting yourself into your bike, right? Not literally, but like, I mean, if you're into that sort of thing.
I was gonna say you're one of those people who's got one of those like push spring gas tanks, don't you?
No, actually, I don't.
You just push it in, and it's it kind of moves out of the way.
I'm actually a little more bougie than that. I can't lie to you, dog. Uh, so those Harley fuel gauges that are like up on your brake cylinder, that's me. So I know when I'm about to run out of fuel. But so I actually still have a twist cap. But I had my twist cap made custom.
There you go.
So I like it's all laser engraved and stuff like that. In fact, I got to go down back to Georgia and get that here soon. But anyway, but yeah. So I mean, I'm a real big advocate for making your bike into what your personality is, or have it being kind of like a tattoo, a expression of yourself, right?
Right.
Um,
Mike Crazy Eyes in the chat. He says, "I'll get a bike when Elon Musk makes one." I I want to talk about that a second. Have you ridden one of the electric bikes, like the live wire at all?
I haven't ridden. I haven't rode the live wire, but have you heard of the Zeros?
Yep.
I've ridden a Zero, and mixed feelings.
Weird as fuck. Number one, in my opinion. But
if you want something that's going to instantly rip your whole nutsack off, go right ahead. That is your prerogative. If that's what you're into, by all means, let her eat.
It's a Hayabusa with instant fucking glitch, man. Just
it's literally like a Busa with a cheat code.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of wild. For kids, I say kids, but so I'm 28. So kids my age are looking for the next best thing, right? And so for college kids and kids between, I keep saying kids, I guess. Well, I guess
kids. Your kids to me, man. Your kids to me.
So, I guess people my age, they're looking for the next best thing. They're looking for the best tech. But in my opinion, I think for me personally, it's garbage. Because I'm not going to go from I'm not going to sit there and go 170 miles or 110 or 80, however long the charge is, and just go from charge to charge to charge. I'm not going to sit there and do that. I'd rather have that little vibration in my tank than anything else. Like I would rather feel the internal combustion of the engine between my legs instead of whatever
the hum of the electric motor.
Yeah.
No, and I have no problem with that. And Mario goes, mixed feelings, more like emotional damage. Yeah, we get it.
The only thing damaging is the price tag.
Right. Well, I'm actually going to be working on it. Please let me move my cock out of the way for a second. So you can kind of see it in the background there. Mm-hmm. That is an electric motor. Okay. That is the basis for a project that I'm trying to get off the ground. So I'm going to be trying to, what I want to do is I'm going to take a cafe racer. I'm going to take like a 65 Honda CB, probably like a 250, 450, somewhere in there.
Okay.
I could get a 650. It'd be great because I want to get put enough room for batteries in there.
Yeah.
I want to turn it into an electric bike.
Okay.
Based around these motors. And these motors matter to me because I sell these motors mostly. Well, I do the applications for them. They're permanent magnet motors. So
yeah.
I can this motor behind me has about the same amount of fucking torque as a Hayabusa does at about 5,000 RPM.
Mm-hmm.
So if I upsize that, turn it to a 26-inch motor, I can put 800 Newton meters of torque in through the motor at 48 volts of electricity.
Holy shit.
800 Newton meters of torque is enough to flip the bike on its end. So obviously there's some potentiometers and stuff like that that's got to go into it. But yeah, I want to do it, and I think it's going to be fucking wicked when it happens. But Until then,
So,
it's just a thing. But yeah, Ride the Lightning is fucking legit on these bikes.
yeah.
There's a reason that motor back there has faster acceleration than a C8 Corvette with all the hype on it.
Yeah. See, stuff like that is what I live for because I'm all about performance and, like, again, the next best thing, right? But, like, for me, it's like, what's the practicality of that outside of a drag strip?
Yeah. Well, I get it. But it comes down to that whole, like, how far can you go type deal. For me,
You got to push the limits. If you don't
uh,
push the limits, you ain't going to
yeah.
go nowhere.
So permanent magnet motors, part of what drives me toward that is amp draw, right? So when it comes to a standard electric motor or something like that, some of the things that you're seeing, these DC brushless motors that are running synchronous drive, stuff like that are running Teslas, they have such high amp draw, right? It number one, to even charge the battery is over 70 amps, which most home circuits are 110 amps, and your stove and your car can't run at the same time, basically.
Right.
So you get into that, but the amp draw on this motor at 800 Newton meters that I'm talking about is like at 48 volts, something like 2.5 amps.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Amp hours, I go insane with the amount of mileage, and that's kind of where I want to go with it.
Right.
But that's
Now,
down the road. That's complicated shit.
right now, some people agree, some people disagree with what I'm about to say. And if you disagree, cool, we can still be friends. Let's go grab a beer and talk about it. But so another thing about the whole electric motor thing, right? And this is something that, yes, I mean, to some degree, the engine, the noise of your internal combustion engine, right? It alerts people to some degree depending on the exhaust you have.
No,
I'm not out here saying loud pipes save lives, because I have seen crazy shit. I have been a part of crazy shit to where I've been running straight pipes on my bike. People don't give a shit regardless what you're running. They can hear you, but
yeah,
their
they don't
phones
care.
they're looking at their phones, they're disciplining their child in the back seat, whatever the hell it is. If they don't see you, that car isn't going to stop unless they make it. And if they don't see you, it's not stopping. But to some degree, the noise of the engine at least let that person know, or multiple people know, you're there.
Right.
Now, again, loud pipes don't save lives. They're just cool, and they're a good way to show off. Shoot me in the foot or shoot me in the forehead, I don't care. That's the
You're
way.
not wrong. You're not wrong with the statement. And I think a lot of people hang their head on it.
I think it's just a piss poor excuse for men to tell their wives to get a $800 to $1,000 exhaust. If I'm being quite honest.
There's the thing. It's part of it. So it's the same. It goes back to like twisted grip and the whips and stuff like that. And it's like everybody's like, well, why do you do that? It's a fucking flag. It's another thing for people to see, right? So as if my orange fucking street glide isn't enough, here's a big white and orange fucking thing dangling off my bike, flapping around in the wind. And yeah, like a get back whip. It's not what it is or whatever. Blah blah. If I have to, yes, it will. Panic snaps come off, and that motherfucker will be a pool ball going through somebody's fucking window, because some people need to be brought to attention.
Right.
Like,
and I mean,
gunshots might make people move out of the way, but it's an automatic fucking felony, right? You've discharged your firearm in an unsafe manner, blah, blah, blah. If you're on a motorcycle, for some reason, people seem to believe that a motor vehicle is not a weapon. And it very, very much is. And people who are not paying attention driving their vehicle are just as dangerous as a fucking 12-year-old with a fucking pistol in a bedroom. Like,
exactly.
you got to be careful. You got to understand what you're doing. You're driving 2,000 pounds plus of steel and plastic, mostly plastic nowadays, down a road, most likely faster than you could control the son of a bitch with two hands, and you're doing it one-handed while changing the radio station, doing your makeup, eating a cheeseburger, and slapping your fucking children in the backseat.
Right,
Like,
exactly. And see, that's the thing is, I'm not gonna lie, I have been in the situation where I've had to punch out some mirrors, and they got a little too close. I mean, and me and my buddies ride bar to bar, not smart, but we do anyway because it's our lives and we're gonna do whatever the hell we want. But this lady got too close, and she about ran me and about 4 to 5 other people over. So what I do? I put my cruise control on. I punched the fuck out of her mirror, and yeah, I broke my hand doing it, but it got her attention. And she looked at me like, "What was that for?" Turns out she was on her phone.
right. Oh my God, what are you doing? That was my mirror.
Well, and
It was almost my life, you dumbass.
right, and well, what I ended up doing was, because I have the helmet to do it, I unbuckled my helmet. I lifted it up to the point where it like wouldn't come off, or like the face of it, and I said, "Get off your fucking phone." Put my helmet back on, buckled that shit back up, and hauled ass out. And it's unfortunate that we even have to be looking for that stuff, but this is kind of going into the deeper side of the conversation. But we also know the risk every time we throw a leg over and get on the saddle, right? Like, the reason why I tell the people I love before I even hop on the bike, "Hey, I love you. I'm on the bike. If anything were to happen, this is the last thing I want you to know." Like, now it doesn't go that deep. It's be like, "Hey, I'm getting on the bike. I love you." Click.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
so
it's even as
put that
something as
on that
simple as a text.
right,
Something as
right,
simple as a text, and like, hey, I'm headed home. Here's the deal. Like, see you in a bit.
right.
You know.
And so, like, a lot of times, what I'll do is, and this is just a little tip that I always tell people: you can share your location on Google Maps.
Yep.
And I tell whoever I decide to tell, "Hey, shared my location with you. If I'm in one spot for more than 30 minutes, I'm either at a bar or at a friend's house. If I don't answer within 45 minutes, shoot me a text."
Well, I tell you, one of the interesting things is, and technology kind of goes back to the whole question of like the apps and what they're tracking and stuff like that. But technology has come a long way. So even guys on motorcycles, like this right here, Apple Watch. I
Yep.
know it's Apple, whatever, but the Google ones do the same shit. They have stuff built into it now where it literally can tell, if I was in an accident. Like it can
Yep.
tell if I was on a pedal, if I was even on a fucking pedal bike going down a hill and I fell off that bitch. If I
Yeah.
didn't move for an X amount of time, it's going to call 911, and I
Yep.
have to physically cancel the call when it tries to do it or something like that.
Yeah.
If I can't cancel the call, obviously I need assistance. It takes my
Right.
GPS location, it takes everything it can, and it puts it up into the fucking air atmosphere for anybody to come fucking find me.
Right. Well, and like that's the thing too, right? So like mine's up there charging. Like there was one time I hit a pothole a little bit too hard on the sporty, and I see my watch light up, dialing 911. Like it's that sensitive.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, my
I
wife
felt like
my wife one day was on her way to work, and all of a
but
sudden I got a text message saying there's an emergency beacon. I'm like, bitch, just left the house. What the fuck happened? She's like,
right,
I accidentally did X, and it's like it just automatically called it. She's got 9. I gotta go. The police are calling me.
right,
Shit,
right,
call them back. I don't need them coming to the house.
right. And yeah, I guess it's a blessing and a curse, right? It all just depends on what on where I guess I guess on where you stand with things. So I mean, like me, I was kind of, or I am kind of in that generation where we grew up without cell phones, but we were also in that spot where we had cell phones. Like we like from the ages of like 1 to like 7 or 8. I mean, I didn't get an actual cell phone until I was 13. So from 1 to 13, I was
I didn't get an actual cell phone until I was 30. Motherfucker, let me explain something to you, son. Let me take you to church. Let me take you to church, child. They didn't have cell phones until I was fucking 15.
right.
And I know there's guys in my chat who are gonna be like, "Till you were 15, I didn't have a cell phone until I was fucking 30."
Right, right.
Like,
So,
yeah, no.
like, the
It,
thing
I
is,
don't.
like, to me, I could live with it and I can live without it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the thing is
didn't grow up
it's
with
really
it.
interesting, like having the conversation with individuals though, and they're like, I don't use that app because I'm afraid they're going to track me. I'm like, have you literally had a conversation with somebody and gone on fucking Google lately? Like, the
Right,
amount of tracking that's going on is ridiculous.
right.
I go back to a story. I talked to somebody one day about needing to change a battery.
Yeah,
Like, they needed to change a battery. And the next time I sat down at my computer and pulled it up, the first 3 ads that were presented to me were like, "Hey, check out this battery from Check out this battery
right,
from this place." It's like, I'm not the one who needed the battery. Stop fucking listening.
right.
Like,
Well, and like,
but everybody's like, "Oh, I won't have those Amazon things in my house because the federal government is listening in." And it's like, you carry a fucking cell phone, right? They got your address, your GPS location, your anything you're saying, anything, anytime they fucking want it. I'm like, it's so bad that I get into my truck now and I've got CarPlay, right? So I plug my phone in and I set it in the dash and I don't have to worry about my phone anymore, right? I get text messages, calls, all that shit through my dash in the truck. And I'm like, cool. And then all of a sudden I realize every time I plug it in, it's like, hey, it's only 7 minutes to this location. Or hey, we're only 45 minutes away from here. I'm like, how the fuck do you know where I'm going? Like,
exactly.
shut the what? No. Stop
Right.
it.
And like that's the thing, man. Like I'll get into my car in the mornings and the first thing that pops up is my Apple Maps. Like, dude, I'm literally going 5 minutes down the road to work.
Right. But
Like
there are
I'm not,
people who legit need like don't get it twisted. There are people who need GPS to fucking
oh yeah.
go the same place they've gone every day for the last 20 fucking years.
Right, right, exactly. But like it's just like it's insane because like for instance, so I had a buddy of mine, he was talking about like getting some like Lay's potato chips at the store on a grocery list for the next 3 days. All I saw was like Lay's barbecue chips, Lay's sour cream and onion, Lay's this, Lay's that. I'm like, I don't even eat that shit.
Right.
Like
Right.
like I'm not saying I eat healthy. Like, don't get me wrong. Like an hour ago, I smashed like 4 Christmas tree cakes. Like, don't get it twisted. But like, but like, it's just like, what the heck? And like going from like app to app and stuff like that. Like, here's how I kind of look at it. Regardless, someone, somewhere, some country, whatever the fuck it is, they're they're
Well,
probably or like whatever. So like, for me, I don't care. Like I don't. I'm gonna do what I think I should do. Um and like okay, yeah, TikTok, it's a Chinese thing. Okay, cool, whatever. Like tell Mr. Wong I said hi. Like whatever. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't matter to me. Like
Chairman Wan, thank you. It's Chairman Wan. He gets your information here too.
right. So like it's just like okay, well,
Facebook. If Facebook literally knows my bathroom schedule, I'm screwed. Like, I can never get a job if somebody like digs into my Facebook information then. But I don't go on Facebook in the shitter, so Facebook probably doesn't know my bathroom schedule. I very rarely go on Facebook anymore. The only time I go on Facebook is when I'm trying to find a family update.
Right.
The only
So
time I get any information from my family is through Facebook. It's like,
and
your uncle
so
died. I'm like, oh, and it was his funeral 3 weeks ago. Fuck, I guess I should have logged in. I'm the
right.
bad person because I didn't come. Like, fuck you. You didn't even
And so
tell me about it.
that thing, right? Like, so for Iron Hooligan, I'm using Facebook for like one of the things on Iron Hooligan. It's going to be the easiest way for me to communicate with the community outside of TikTok and stuff like that. And then obviously, like YouTube is going to be like the long form content where I can expand on stuff. And then there's TikTok, which I'm going to use for like my short form stuff and stuff like that. Like there's all that type of stuff, right? So here's how I kind of think of it. If I'm going to get tracked, okay, cool. Regardless, no matter what app I'm on, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, someone's going to get my shit somewhere. So I don't care. It is what it is. Do whatever if you want to steal my identity, go ahead. I didn't have much of one anyway. So it was just like, whatever. So I'm going to use what is going to be best for the brand Iron Hooligan and myself. Right now, it's TikTok. I'm sitting at almost 1,600. And I've been doing this for a little less than 6 months.
Yeah.
And so that's what's best. People like the short form stuff right now. So that's what I'm going to use along with Instagram. You can still do short form on Instagram and you can post your day-to-day stuff on Instagram. You can do reels. You can do all the same stuff you can do basically on TikTok just without basically posting the photos because I don't post the TikTok nows. Listen, I'm at work for 12 hours a day. No one wants to see me welding pipe in the still picture. I'm sorry, they just don't.
I'm sure there's a lot of people would love to see you welding pipe.
Well, I mean, I weld naked. I weld naked.
That's for OnlyFans. Sorry.
Yeah. That's like the OnlyFans stuff. Like, if you want to go over my OnlyFans, I'm vacuuming and doing dishes in a apron naked. So
ooh, there you go. That's one for Crazy Eyes. As long as you show your feet, we've got a couple feet guys here. They like the feet.
listen,
Nastier the better. Nastier the better.
Hey, listen, I got them blue collar feet.
There you go. Yeah, no, Mario says he doesn't do TikTok, and Crazy Eyes says his ADD loves TikTok. So it is, man. You can get an amalgamation of shit. Like it's the craziest thing. Like, and the dumb shit that pops up or they promote nowadays, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Most of that stuff can be held for another show. I don't want to keep you too long. We're sitting at about an hour and a half right now, which is well over what we had kind of planned. We figured we'd go for about an hour for these, but hey, good conversation is good conversation either way. Definitely glad to have you on. Would love to have you come back in any time. Yeah, we're just kind of winging it here, and part of it is also I'm looking for that hard stop time around 10 o'clock too, which is where we're at right about now, hitting that 1.5 hour mark. So, any final words you want to say? Anything? I don't mean to cut the conversation short, but I think we kind of covered most of it. It was a good kind of cut spot there before we get too deep into some other woods because I saw it on the horizon. We were about to broach another subject, and I just never want to cut the subject off too much. So, yes, Crazy Eyes. His TikTok name is Iron Hooligan. It's Iron_Hooligan, I believe, is the dealio. Down in the description of the video, there should be a link to his TikTok. There should be a link to his. I think your Instagram is in there, and I think you have a link tree. If not anything else, if nothing else, he has a link tree, which I think has the majority of that stuff in it, and all of his other applications and things that he likes to use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, what you got, bud?
So yeah, everything is pretty much in my link tree. I mean, shameless plug. I have my merch link up there. If you guys do decide to go grab something, I appreciate it. Thank you. You guys are dope. I have a couple other links in there with some people that I'm affiliated with, like Scooter Trash and Copper John's Beard Company. Got to keep this saddle healthy. Um, but yeah, I'm going to be doing some more updating to the link tree. So I'm going to have my Instagram and my YouTube in there. Going to be starting some YouTube stuff here soon. So that's cool. But I guess for my last and final words, regardless of what situation you're in, whether it's mental state, whether it's physical state or whatever, don't let your dreams die. You stop moving, you die. Don't ever stop working. Work, doesn't matter what age you are. I don't care if you're 28 or 70. Do what you got to do to achieve your dreams. Don't ever stop, and work on it a little bit at a time, and it will come true way faster than you would ever believe.
Very good. Excellent. So the people in here aren't probably going to buy your merch. They're kind of cheap like that, but they are monthly type of individuals, and they want to know your OnlyFans link, what your Pornhub profile is, all the good information where they can go support your mom. And I got a bunch of weird fuckers who watch my shit. So
message me on Instagram. I'll give you the Iron Hooligan After Dark link.
There you go. A lot of you guys are familiar with the After Dark. There you go. All right, man. I appreciate you stopping in, hanging out with us.
Definitely. Thank you.
Definitely welcome back as we continue to do this. Next week, as far as doing a show, we'll see what happens. I mean, it is the day before Christmas type thing. So, 2 days before Christmas. So maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll do a fucking show. We'll see who I can get. There's some disparaging individuals who don't like anything out there. Maybe I'll have a victory owner on or something. They don't believe in Christmas. Most of them guys are lighting candles anyways. So what was that?
They're like cockroaches. The victories never really die.
Oh, they always die. They just are resurrected with other Honda parts.
Very true.
All right. Did I tell them the news? I did in the Discord. If you want to know exclusive inside information about what is going on in the future of Jim O'Ryan and the podcast and the show and this and that, no, Yankee Marshall. Jesus Christ. You know what? If this video here, I'm going to put a like goal on this video. I'm going to make you guys do some work. If this video gets 50 likes, which is pretty fucking easy, I will reach out to Yankee Marshall. If all 50 of those people who like this video go over and subscribe to the Spotify podcast where this is going to be uploaded within the next 24 hours, you head on over there and subscribe to that. If y'all do that, I will not only reach out to the Yankee Marshall, I will make an actual YouTube video begging the Yankee Marshall to come onto the podcast. So, good luck with all that, you fucking twat waffles. Anyways. That is the thing. The Spotify link is in the link tree in my information down below. That's where it will be. That's where it's going to be for good. And I don't know if I'm doing video upload there yet or if I'm doing just audio upload. I have to see if they've cleared my video presence yet or not. But anyways, most other podcast stuff, it will be there. Other places. So too much work. Never mind. Exactly. No more Yankee Marshall conversation for this. So, I appreciate everybody stopping by, and I also appreciate Iron Hooligan for stopping in, everybody who stayed and watched and conversed and had fun with the fucking show. Good for you guys. Remember the sponsors of tonight's podcast or Twisted Grip at twistedgrip00.com for all your kinky paracord fucking wares and wants. He's pretty much got you covered there, Dustin. Will most likely charge you more if you tell him you came from my stuff, but if you tell him, eventually maybe he'll give us a fucking discount. Same for Dacha Leather. Head on over there if you're looking for anything leather goods. He's got paddles, he's got straps, he's got snaps, he's got collars, he's got fucking wallets, he's got just about everything you can fucking imagine, and some pretty fucking cool chains too. So if you can't get the whips, go get the chains. Dachaleather.com. That's where you go for them goods. So later, Papa Non-Pineapple. Later, crazy fucking eyes. We love you. To everybody who's in the chat, we love you. To everybody who's listening in the future, we love you too. This has been episode 1 of Full Throttle Freedom with Iron Hooligan as our special guest. Thank y'all for stopping in. And as always, keep it fucking twisted.